Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in any part of the world you are. We are very excited to start today with the first webinar panel of the series Road to Global of the SheTrades Global Initiative program or event. I'm Juan Hoyos. I work for the SheTrades initiatives for a while. Probably many of you already see me in different events. And I'm very pleased to have a special guest today. That is Matilda Payne Bo Aki Anna. Always I have problems reading the second last name of Matilda. But anyway, we will call her Matilda today. Is an amazing entrepreneur from Ghana. And then she is the perfect expression, an example to show you today what is sustainable, inclusive, and ethical value chains. For the information of everybody, for the month of March, we made a slight change of the program in the sense that we merged the webinar plus the panel. Because we didn't want to miss any one of them, but then we merged in only one session. For the following months, we will have the same structure always. Initially, we will have a webinar with technical experts in a technical topic. Then after a week later, we will have the panel with that expert and other experts and women-owned businesses who are already successful in this topic. So you can see that is not theory, that is the reality. And after that panel, we will offer to everybody who is already registered in the Road to Global or in SheTrades Global board of events, you will be registered in an online course. It's not mandatory, but if you want to get deeper in a specific topic, we recommend you take that course. You will receive immediately from our system an invitation with login and passwords, so you can participate. Those courses usually not always are open for 2 weeks, and you have 2 weeks to finalize all lectures, forums, etc. And then after those 2 weeks, the course will be closed. Then if you finish all the activities, as I am saying, forums, exchange information, evaluation forums, etc., you will get the certificate of the course. So now, as you can see, we want all women-owned businesses to be very well prepared once we arrive to Dubai. And then everybody will arrive by plane or by internet. But anyway, everybody will be there. There will be spaces for everybody there. And then it's important is our big event, online hybrid, physical and online. And then we are growing or experiencing more opportunities for women who cannot travel. So people will be there, and then we will have buyers, we will have investors, we will have women-owned businesses participating. So you can grow your network and definitely be more embedded in international markets. The series in general, the Dubai SheTrades Global, SheTrades Global Dubai. This year is sustainability. Nowadays, pandemic times, climate change, social issues. I mean, this is critical that everybody has to address the issues of sustainability. But of course, to go and to reach international markets, or not only to international markets, nowadays markets, you need to go to digital. And sometimes, most of the times, you need money. So this program, this capacity building program, we separate it in different themes every month. And then it's a mix of finances, digital, and sustainability. So these are the 3 pillars who we build the whole capacity building until the month of October. We hope you participate actively in these panels and discussions and trainings. You enjoy it, you learn, and you apply. And then when you apply in Dubai, we hope that you will end up with many, many good new businesses. But for the moment, let's start, as I was saying, let's start with the first merge event that we have this today, that I will deliver a webinar, or not a webinar, I mean some technical content on sustainable, inclusive, and ethical value chains. And then we will have a nice conversation with Matilda. At the end, we will leave around 10 minutes for audience to ask questions. Please put your questions in the chat. And then as well, you will receive at the end of the webinar as well, in your screens, you will see 2 questions that you can answer them in your screen. So now we are doing polls, and then we are doing evaluations on site, on the screens automatically, because for us it's important as well to improve all the time and to see what you think about this kind of webinars, this kind of projects, programs, and then how we can improve the delivery of all these activities. Now let's go to let's talk about business. Kriti, can we let me introduce as well. Behind the scenes is Abai, Kriti, and Mira, who are helping us with. Kriti and Mira belong to the SheTrades initiative, and Abai works with the platform that is been using for this event. And then they will helping us with all the logistics on the back. Thank you very much, the 3 of you as well. I will introduce Matilda later, so I don't want to give her the floor yet until we see certain things before. And then talking about again sustainability, ethical value chains. The issue right now is sometimes when you talk about sustainability, many people believes that sustainability is environmental issues, and it's not only that. And many people believe as well that sustainability is for big corporations, and it's not the case either. It's for everybody, and then everybody has to assume that responsibility. And this is how I presented with Matilda. Matilda is a very small company, not very small, but it's a small company who really assume the responsibilities, environmental and social responsibilities. And the message here is, no matter that you belong, that our audience is working for a big corporations today or a small corporation, everybody has a responsibility. Every employee has a responsibility. Every owner has a responsibility. And then I'm going to start launching or shooting with some questions and really think about those questions for your business. Is in terms of business community responsibilities, do you think that running your enterprise and providing your products or services impact your customers? And then you will tell me immediately, yes, of course, they impact very well. Do you know the negative impact of your products or services in your customers? And probably say, well, we don't know, we are not too sure. So it's better we start digging and be frank with us, be transparent with us, and say, okay, what is the real situation? And what about your customers' communities? Sometimes probably your customer is not affected, but the community where your customer is probably is affected. And the next one is, how does your company affect the people, planet, and profit? And then Matilda will grow. I will explain a little bit more about it. Can we go to the next, Kriti, please? And then now with the next one, we talk about supply chains. And this is one of the key topics here, because when you see big corporations even, yeah, we are controlling our environmental and social issues. And then they control it inside. If you ask gender issues, for example, a big corporation, yeah, we have half and half women, and then now we have equal pay. What is not true, but anyway, for the moment. But then in case it would be true, but what happened with your suppliers? And what happened with the suppliers of your suppliers? I don't know. So that's the point here. We will understand later. I will show you a graphic where we can see the impact that the whole value chain has to be measured. And it's not only the impact inside my company. So the questions are, do you trust your suppliers and supply chain partners? If I ask you even, do you know your suppliers? Yes, of course, I know my suppliers. Do you really know them? And sometimes we don't know them. Does each link in the supply chain take care of its workers with fair pay, sustainable workloads, or ethical work conduct? This is one question. I mean, you buy from suppliers and you assume that the workers of your suppliers has been well paid. Probably not. And then at the end is, who is responsibility? Only the supplier? No, it's your responsibility as well. And then, is the sourcing of materials done from sources with renewable or low impact extraction methods? Is this certified? This is another topic that we need to be really, wow, what is happening here? If unethical behavior is discovered, how will it be remediated? And finally, do you know how your customers and customers of your customers use your products or services, how they dispose them? Are you really aware, for example, to reduce plastic packaging so that plastic is not going to the ocean or to the landfills? Are you working on these kind of things? And then at the end, you say, wow, at the end, my responsibility is bigger than I thought initially. But it's not to panic right now, but it's to take conscience of what is the responsibility of any company. Again, it's not only big corporations, but any company. Can you go to the next one? So what is the definition of sustainability? No, but before, practice at the end falls short of theory. You know, in developing countries especially, we have discrimination. Well, discrimination in every place: gender, religion, ethnic groups, sexual orientation. But we have slave or child labor. We have CO2 emissions all around the world, unsafe working conditions, soil and water degradation, lack of freedom of association. And this is a tiny sample of all the breaking rules that we are going through along our performance as a company, where we believe that we are performing well, and at the end we are not performing so well. Can we go to the next one? And now let me talk about the definition of sustainability. In 1997, John Elkington introduced the well-known, accepted, and used triple bottom line concept, where sustainability is equal based in three dimensions: economic, environmental, and social. And this is one key point, because again, we need to bring to everybody the idea or the knowledge that sustainability is not only environmental, it's social as well. Is at the end is the three pillars. It's like a table with three legs. With only two, it doesn't work. So, and now, up to now, the world is moving with only one leg, that is economic, making business, making money. What about the other two? Nowadays, John Elkington withdraw his concept. That is kind of weird that somebody withdraw his own concept. Sometimes you withdraw products because they are not good, or you advance with them. So this is what happened with John Elkington. And then now he replaced it with responsibility, resilience, and regeneration. It's not only enough to see the economic, environmental, and social, but it's how we are applying these concepts. Can we go to the next slide, please, Kriti? So just in a summary, because we will have time later with the online courses, or I mean, it's just bringing some special topics. What is environmental sustainability? Is the ability of a business to continue doing what it's doing indefinitely without exhausting or degrading natural resources and inhibiting future generations from meeting their needs. And I'm going to the top of this slide: from harm to no harm to do good. What does it mean? If you look at your own companies, probably most of you are doing harm, are harming the environment with CO2 emissions, with many things that we never are fully aware of the situation. But then we need to move to no harm. That is, stop producing CO2. I'm not saying that do it tomorrow, because it's not so simple. At a certain moment, we will have to change all the use of fossil oil, all the ways we are producing energy, etc. So it's not that we have the power to do it, but step by step we can do it. But we need to move fast, because it's not enough to do no harm to the environment, but we need to do good to the environment. And what is doing good? There is a company, a carpet company, I'm not going to mention the name, but it's a very famous company who start addressing sustainability issues seriously, not for CSR only to promote with the publications and everything, but seriously. It's an American company in the carpet industry that is oil based. And at the end, they start reducing the production of CO2, until now they have a strategy to do good. Is they say our company, our factories should work like a forest. where they take the CO2 of the environment and they produce oxygen. And they are developing all the technologies that any one of those factories will work as a forest, is doing good, because we cannot only stop, because only stopping the harm to the environment is not enough, because now there is a damage. So now we need to clean the mess. So this is the message, that we need to go farther, and then we need to start moving really fast. Can we go to the next one slide, please, Kriti? So the next one is the social sustainability, the 4 categories. And then this is something that is important as well to bring. I mean, not a company, no matter it is good economically and environmentally, if you are not good socially, you are not good doing good for the humanity. And then these are the 4 categories of the social sustainability: labor practices and decent work, human rights, society, and product responsibility. And look at example, for example, just with labor practices and decent work: diversity and equal opportunity, equal remuneration for women and men, labor management relationship, occupational health and safety, training and education. Think to your own company, in your own company, are you practicing these practices, the redundancy? But you see, there are things that you can manage, and sometimes you don't even think about it, that you can manage it. So we need to be aware of these kind of things. Human rights is no discrimination, freedom of association, no child labor, forced or compulsory labor, no at all. Then impact, the society, impact on local communities, as I mentioned earlier, and anti-competitive behavior. And finally, the product responsibility, customer health and safety. Are you responsible when you produce a food product, that this product is not going to intoxicate or affect your customer? And then if it's going to affect, do you put all the things why you are like cigarettes or candies or things like that? So everybody has to be responsible for the products and the services that they are offering, or how they are affecting the health and safety of the customers. So you see, again, this topic is forever, but then it's important that you start bringing and researching and exploring in your own sector, in your own company, how you can start improving one by one. Can we go to the next slide, please, Kriti? So I mentioned earlier to all of you that, can you click again, because I need you to display everything. And another one, another click, please, Kriti. I know I should, and another one even. So what is the issue of a supply chain or a value chain? You see focal firm in the middle in red. It's like always we assume that, again, the big corporations are responsible to do what we have to do as well. But no, everybody. Look at firms are held responsible by their stakeholders for unethical behavior in the supply chain. And I'm talking about unethical is not only corruption in terms of money. Unethical can be considered as well unethical social sustainability, social performance, and unethical is environmental performance as well. So you see the focal firm, the upstream to the left of the screen, you have first-tier suppliers, the first suppliers, then second, third, and fourth-tier suppliers, and then we get the primary production. And then the issue is everybody here needs to be responsible and be aware what is happening the upstream. The same to the other side. Distributor, consumer, and disposal. Are we aware of that? Probably not now, probably not tomorrow, but we need to start developing in all value chains a tracking system when we control since the disposal to the primary production, or the opposite, the primary production to the disposal, what is happening with that product transformation or service transformation where we are adding value, but what is the impact, social and environmental, along the value chain? And again, this is not a problem of the multinational corporations. It's a problem of everybody. Imagine that you are in the first tier supplier, but still you are responsible for the second tier suppliers that is your first tier supplier. So at the end, everybody is responsible for what is happening along the whole value chain. Can we go to the next one, please? Then now this is to confirm the impact of the SMEs or micro and SME, small and medium enterprises in the world. If you see these bars, the bar in the left is participation in number of SMEs versus multinational corporations. You see in red, we have the SMEs, and in blue, we have multinational corporations. So in terms of number, all around the world, this is a publication that ITC did in 2015, the SMECO. You can find it in ITC publication page. And then you can find that 5% of the companies all around the world are are SMEs, while 95% are, 5% are multinational corporations, while 95 are SMEs. So you say, yeah, but it's normal, but they are small, they don't produce so much. Look at the next bar, value added. If you see the next bar, the value added in the world is 50% is produced by the multinational corporations, and 50% is produced by SMEs. So you see the difference. Now, of course, they are small, but they are producing 50% of the value added around the world. We cannot compare, we cannot do this extrapolation, but in a way, just for the purpose of illustration, we can say that the CO2 emitted all around the world, 50% of the CO2 emitted is by SMEs. Again, I cannot do properly this extrapolation because we don't know, but it can be something like that, because sometimes SMEs are cleaner, sometimes SMEs are dirtier than multinational corporations, but you can see the impact. And then look at the last bar, employment. 70% of employment all around the world is provided by SMEs. And this is clear. If SMEs don't behave well with salaries, with working conditions, with trainings, etc., so 70% of the population of the employees all around the world, they are mistreated. They are not treated well. So you see the impact of the SMEs. That's why, going back to the last slide, is not the multinational corporation responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility, the issue of sustainability. Can we go to the next one slide, please, Kriti? I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I'm gonna be short with this one. Be always aware that the business ecosystem, your business ecosystem, or any company business ecosystem, is we have on the left side of the screen, usually we say our stakeholders are the shareholders, owners, employees, suppliers, distributors, creditors, investors, customers, financiers, competitors. But it's not only that. You have stakeholders that you don't count, that they are on the right side of the screen: communities, government agencies, labor unions, industry trade groups, professional associations, NGOs, public at large, and education institutions and research centers and media. So imagine that this is your full ecosystem. And then sometimes when you are not behaving well, it's not only environmental and socially, you are not only accountable for the stakeholders on the left side, but you are accountable for the stakeholders as well on the right side. So everybody could be at the end your boss. And that's good, because in this way, everybody has to be more responsible. Can you go to the next one slide, please, Kriti? So I briefly as well in this one, can you click a few times until it's like 3 times? And I want to make just a difference here, because usually what we work with big corporations is the supplier development programs. When big corporations change the strategy, the supplier strategy, to help suppliers to be providers, their suppliers. But at the same time, there is another program. There are another kind of programs that are the supplier diversity programs. But supplier diversity program is a different story. It's when we work with minorities, like women-owned businesses. Women are not minority in terms of numbers, but women-owned businesses are minorities right now. So women-owned businesses, or other minorities like gay people or former military people or other minorities that can happen. Indigenous people are minorities in many countries. So these programs help these companies to include more minorities. So what we are doing, what is SheTrades located is in between both of them, because at this, when we are helping women-owned businesses who belong to a minority in terms of businesses to be more effective, to be more competitive, to be able to supply to big corporations. So what we are doing is in the middle, is between a supplier development program and a supplier diversity program. And what I'm telling you, all this story that probably for you is like, yeah, but I'm not going to do a supplier development programs or a supplier diversity programs. You as an SME, yes, you should do it. But still, you can be affected or benefit. You can benefit from a supplier diversity or a supplier development program from a big corporations. So can we go to the next one slide, please? So there are a few topics that you need to be aware in when you want to belong to sell to a big corporations. Big corporations are looking for cost, quality, delivery based on technology as well. I mean, you need to be in the state of the art. But nowadays, it's not only that. Now, you cannot only be good in economic performance, but you need to be environmental performance and social performance. And how? So we can go to the next slide. So big corporations are now moving to build capabilities on these corporations, these small corporations, to in all these topics, to be able to supply to those corporations. But for that one, you need a certain set of elements, that is top management involvement, communication, collaboration, long-term commitment, and trust. And then I'm focusing in collaboration in the middle. For me, this is the key factor in every community, in any place, collaboration. Because, probably you are very good with something, but not in everything. And even big corporations, they need to collaborate with you. They have knowledge. Sometimes they have resources. They have labs, for example, and you need to make tests on those labs. And then if you collaborate, the exchanging knowledge, exchanging skills, and then exchanging ideas, building and developing new products together. This is the only way. So that's why I wanted to bring this concept of supplier diversity and supplier development programs, because you need to start thinking that a buyer is not only a buyer, it's a partner. And then the big corporation as well needs to think that the small supplier is not a small supplier, it's a partner. Because at the end, you belong to the same value chain, and you need to be responsible for the whole value chain. Let's go to the next slide, Kriti, please. You will receive all this information. You will have the recordings, by the way, for those who didn't participate the last one. When you go to 10X platform, you can see all the recordings in the auditorium. And then finally, just to finally give some opportunity to Matilda to express all her ideas on what she's doing on these issues of sustainability. The last point that I wanted to highlight is the barriers for implementation. So we have, especially small corporations, they have a lack of awareness of sustainability issues. Probably this information that I'm presenting to you earlier probably was, for some of you, was the first time that you hear about it. And then it's not only the awareness, but absence of perceived benefits. And it's unbelievable right now. Yes, this week I was working, I was talking directly with a women-owned business, and then I was telling her, you need to present, because your products are so socially attractive in terms, because one of the products was to prevent accidents in constructions. And they say, you are saving lives with your products, with your services. And then you need to present it. Yeah, but my customer won't be interested in that. Yeah, of course, he would be very interested, because it's a social impact that you are creating. So sometimes we don't see those benefits. And then if we don't have benefits for social or environmental, we need to start developing for your own company. Then lack of knowledge and expertise on sustainability issues is very clear on these things. This is an advertisement. Feel free to join SheTrades.com or the ITC SME Trade Academy, when we have a lot of offers online to close those gaps in your knowledge that you have, and always they are free trainings. And the last one is lack of human and financial resources. Of course, we understand that. But we need to be aware of these kind of challenges in order to address them, and in order to be an international level company that can go and connect to international markets. So now let me finally introduce, because we can stay forever talking about sustainability, and Matilda, she knows very well. So let me introduce Matilda, and then can we go to the next slide, Kriti, please? So let me introduce Matilda, that is our panelist today. And then Matilda is, I love how she describes herself, because she's a designer, mentor, consultant, social entrepreneur, and the best one, eco warrior. I love that. And that's why she's wearing today like the helmet, with that eco helmet. So she's the founder of MH Couture and co-founder of Extreme Upcycle. She will have the opportunity to tell us what those companies are doing with an amazing vision. And her vision is turning trash into treasures. This is, and her motto is bringing back the waste into our homes in useful forms. She described it as useful forms, but I would add and beautiful forms, because you will see some of the pictures. And then also she's creating, so you see how she is so responsible in terms of environmental issues, but also she's creating employment for youth with emphasis on women with great social impact, like providing mini libraries in classrooms from primary in rural school, in rural community schools. She's also career guidance and counseling, providing career guidance and counseling conferences and training and mentorship programs. So you see, she's balancing. She's the perfect table with economic, social, and environmental pillar. I love this one. So just to give the floor to Matilda, introduce yourself, introduce a little bit your companies, and tell us what you're doing in terms of environmental issues. And then in the meantime, Kriti can move to the next slides. Welcome, Matilda, and thank you for accepting being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Juan. That was a great presentation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. Well, as you said, I do my bits for the planet as an eco-warrior, changing the narrative through creative innovations in Ghana and beyond. I believe in women first and prosperity for all through the statement, waste is wealth. In my line of business, I started in 2002. I established MH Couture as an ethical, sustainable, unique, handmade statement fashion accessories, which had 70% upcycle. And then I also started Extreme Upcycle in 2012 with my partner, which also was an eco-friendly, sustainable, upcycled, handcrafted home accessories company. So that is 99% upcycle. Everybody works to make money, but I believe that you must work with a purpose. Every business must have a purpose, and you must make an impact which is positive in our world. Today, in our world, our biggest challenge is environmental. And as we can see, there's so much waste we do not know what to do with. And so through research, my partner and I looked at critical places that had so much waste and we could not handle. And one of these areas was called Agbogbloshie. Agbogbloshie, it's an area that has part of it being a market, a wholesale foodstuff market, and the other part being a waste junk. And it's amazing to see the number of people that patronize food items from this area and the number of people that reside in this area as well and make a living at the same time, we decided that instead of just looking on as this waste piles up, why don't we find other alternatives through our businesses to be able to solve the problem of trying to halt climate change in our own small way, trying to promote good environmental practices, sanitation practices in our own small way, at the same time creating employment for even people in this particular area, as well as the youth around. And so we discovered that there was so much scrap that we could turn to useful and very beneficial items that we could bring home for people to use and appreciate. Therefore, we started to exploit the waste in this area. We just noticed that people just didn't know how to dispose of their waste and just had the thought of just discarding them and not thinking where it lands. But I tell you what, once we started to tell the story behind the waste that we were trying to turn around, people began to become more conscious of what we were doing. They became more conscious of their waste and where it ended up. So you even get people calling you to try to tell you that, oh, we have this waste, is it useful for you? Can you turn it to something so I can patronize and put back in my home? And then we realized that it was catching on. It's amazing how a small company like ours could turn things around in a bigger picture, like paint it in a bigger picture for the whole world to see that we could do it as a people. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that you can start small and go big. You know, we didn't have to be an Apple company or any other huge company trying to make a positive impact. But in our own small way, we figured that there was so much we could do. So with our theme of turning trash into treasures, we started to exploit other means. It wasn't just getting the waste, turning them to useful things and bringing them into our homes in better forms, but we were also looking at a broader picture, not just creating employment for the youth and with emphasis on women, but hey, what else could we do socially that could also create a better impact? And so we started to look at areas that needed help.
Don't go yet to the social area, please. Don't go yet to the social area. Let's explain yet the squeeze the environmental area before we jump, because this is another huge topic that you're doing. Before you jump into the social area, let me ask you something in terms of still talking about environmental and creating trash and moving trash to treasure. How do you see? Have you experienced any change of behavior? You were already mentioning that when you mention to your customers that is from trash, they are more aware and even they like it even better. But in terms of international buyers, one thing is Ghana, because you have your friends and then you have your networks and then it's natural and then you convince people. But what happened at the international level when you show that is your beautiful products are made of trash? You have I mean, people like it, or people say, no, trash from Ghana, I don't want it. Something like that. Tell us.
It's amazing how the reaction of international buyers to our product. First of all, they're very unique and very catchy. So once you see, you get curious. So we found most of our international buyers, whenever we attended international trade shows, they were so curious about the product. And then when you start to tell them exactly what the product is made from, just like what I'm wearing, the black is made from the car tire tube, and then they go, wow. And then they say, oh, it's the waste that is generated in my country. And we're trying to find alternative uses for this waste, turning them to useful things which are not harmful to humans, but are beneficial to everybody. And then they ask more questions. Where exactly did you pick it from? And then I say, oh, I picked it from this area. What we usually do for both of our companies is that we keep track of everything that is collected. So we are in touch and in communication with our suppliers. So our suppliers also have suppliers that supply them. Initially, we just had suppliers, and these suppliers were collecting the waste for us. And we encouraged them to include more people so that they could have more waste for us to be able to patronize. And of course, he would make his cuts. The other suppliers would make their cut. They would make their cut along the way. So it's like there is a chain. Everybody gets paid. And we encourage them to let the other suppliers know that it's not just the fact that you're collecting this waste, but you're solving a problem. You're trying to make the environment clean, and we're trying to halt climate change in our own small way. And then the buyers get even wild, because then they're more interested in the stories and they want to see pictures. And we show them pictures of areas where we pick our waste from and how the processes it goes through before it gets to the end product. And they want to patronize more. And they even suggest and ask, don't you have this kind of waste there? Is there this other waste there? Can you do something? I have this here. What do you think I can do? Or can you discover this in your country? Can you make something out of this for me to patronize? And then it catches on. Sometimes we even say, if you're able to bring that waste to us here at the fairgrounds, we'll take it back home, work on it, and send your shipment back to you. And they are amazed to do that. You know?
Absolutely.
So it's amazing how it caught on. The fact that it's a sustainable company gives us the edge over all the other companies that are there present. That's the first one.
I love that.
Yeah. The second one,
go ahead.
is the story behind everything. Puts it up there as well, because then once they have one product and they put it on, as they move along, they talk about it. Oh, your bracelet is beautiful. Oh yeah, I got it from this company. And guess what? It's made from this, that. And then they start to tell the story unconsciously, and it catches on. So it's like we're giving other people broader ideas of what can be done to turn things around. Yes.
I love what you're saying, and I love the story. And I know if you are putting that story in every product. So a recommendation for you and for the rest of the audience, these kind of stories should be transmitted. And then you have the opportunity today to be with more than around 400 people, but it's not every day. So maybe you can start putting your own story of the building of that product in a QR code, a small video, or a small information saying this is made of this and this and this, and this is a lot of value. And then to finalize the environmental issues, I want to bring something that at the beginning I said in the presentation. We are doing harm to the environment. We need to move to no harm to do good. I love to see your example, because you, as a small corporation, you are doing good because you are cleaning the landfills. You are cleaning the ocean, and then you are making money out of that. So you are doing good. And then this is the example for every single small and medium and small and medium enterprise is feasible. I love that. So now we can stay here forever, but we are not allowed to stay here. If not, the organizer will kill us, both of us. So let's move to the next one. And then Kriti, can you go to the next slide? And then Matilda can tell us a little bit about of the social area, of the social pillar.
Yes. So just like I said, in our quest to make a positive impact in rural communities with focus on our vision and the implementation of this vision, we started to embark on a lot of projects socially, which could also send a message into our communities, not just about the waste, but what we can do to support our communities. So the first one that we started working on as part of trying to promote some of the SDGs was educational projects. So we donate 2% of each product sale from both companies to the education of young girls who are brilliant but very underprivileged and can't afford to pay for the tuition. We pay for the tuition so they can stay in school. So that's the first one that we do. And we do that in rural community schools with the help of the heads of these schools. The second one is we started a library project, which is one classroom one mini library, one computer for each classroom. And this is to encourage these children to develop their habits of reading and be interested in research. This is also to help them broaden their minds in terms of thinking out loud and seeing what the world has to offer in terms of computers. We also are doing what we call career guidance, counseling, and mentoring program. This is a conference that we hold twice yearly in rural community schools. And our focus is on the young girls, but most of these schools have mixed, so it's like male and female. So we bring the men along to also get to learn what the women are learning. What this conference is about is to help these children make informed choices of careers so that it could help them to become great future leaders. We also want to give them confidence and be empowered to grow to become great leaders as well. We also embark on what we call beach cleaning exercises, street cleaning exercises. We support certain women volunteers in communities who are cleaning their beaches and streets with logistics, so they'll be able to continue with their work. We also show them, give them training on how they can separate the waste that they collect and how they can make money out of this waste. So this is to help these women support themselves as women, at the same time support their families as well. So we also organize workshops, upcycled workshops in schools as well. What we do is we go with these children, we see what they have in their waste, in the schools, in the environments. They bring them, we show them what they could turn this waste into and how it could become something positive rather than them just discarding it. We show them the difference between how they can dispose of waste and what can be discarded in terms of organic waste. So we also give them the idea of starting their own businesses small as young folks and then develop it from there as they grow. We allow them to ask questions. So we're always available for them to get in touch with us if they have any more questions or they have any ideas they want us to help them develop. These are some of the things that we're doing as two small companies that we as being sociable in our communities. And I must say that doing all these projects, I noticed that it's fulfilling. You get to see the impact positively right there in the communities because you see how people are so involved in what you are doing for them and how they show appreciation and how the environment gets clean. At the same time, you see how people are able to make money for themselves. So it's not just you working, selling and making your money, but you're also helping the community and they appreciate it a lot. And they also express interest in how they want to learn more about what you're doing as well. I also forgot to state that we also into tree planting exercises because we believe that in most of these rural communities, there aren't that many trees. So we tell them the benefits of having trees around and we encourage and support with giving them seedlings, and we do it together as a community. And we encourage them to water these trees to grow, and they can just sit around these trees and enjoy the ambience of nature as well. Yeah. So I must say that it's not just what we're doing, but we've been able to achieve a lot. We have won 4 awards through what we're doing as businesses, socially, economically, and environmentally. And it's fulfilling to know that it's catching up. We also have had to attend a lot of these trade shows, all thanks to ITC. We've done so physically and digitally, and it's been amazing. Even in terms of now that there is COVID, we are still in business because, hey, life must go on no matter what. And people are still patronizing what we have to offer, which is amazing. Yeah.
I love, of course, you know that I love your companies, and then you know that. But I love the point that when you were mentioning that only 2% of your is dedicated to this social area. And then I'm pretty sure that with less or more 2%, you don't change your lifestyle, you don't stop your company, you don't stop anything. It's like another expense quotation, but it's an expense that is creating, and what is the point here? Opportunities to people.
Yes.
And it's because sometimes even when we work all the time with gender, and I say women are not entitled to have a contract because they are women, it's because they are competitive. What happened is women had less opportunities along their lives to be equally competitive as men. So what we need to create is the environments where everybody has the same opportunity to the opportunities again to have the same level and to compete. Because again, it's not because you are a woman, because you are good. And then you can be better than men, you cannot be, but it's the opportunities. And this is what you are creating with these circumstances, like giving a small computer. I mean, for these boys, is the change of life. And is equaling opportunities to have the knowledge. And the message here is, you see, again, 2% is nothing. And I'm pretty sure everybody can do that. It's just like a matter of decision. And it's like what I was describing when I present you, is like you really assume the environmental responsibility is your business, but the social responsibility as well. And then you are making it. Any other comment before we go to the polls and to the questions?
I have one more comment to make. As women in business, we always think we can do it on our own. Yes, we can do it on our own through research, dedication, hard work, and being focused. We can do it. But guess what? You can also partner somebody who also has the same dream as you, and you can scale up. Two heads, they say, are always better than one. I am blessed to have a partner who understands what it means to empower women. Though he's male, he believes that women first and prosperity for all. And together, we think about everything, we decide on everything, and we move together. And so I encourage all women to try to find partners if you think you have your hands full. If you think that you want to scale up, you can do it on your own too, that's fine. But it's also very good to have a team with you that is supporting your cause. It's very, very important that you think about it. Partnership and collaborations give out amazing results. Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. Okay, now I propose something. Let's do the polls that Kriti is desperate to do, some polls to ask questions to our audience. And after those questions, we open the floors. I mean, I already have one question that we can answer, both of us, and then we can open the time for questions. So Kriti, you can go to the polls as well. Thank you. Kriti, are you going to explain? Since I'm not in the platform, in the other platform, you keep me updated. Because Matilda and I, we are not in the platform where everybody is. We are in a different platform.
Thank you, Juan. Yes, I think Abhay and I are working on that. And very soon you'll be seeing something on your screen. Two questions that we want to understand your feedback and learn from you. If the session was impactful, if what you learned from the session would be helping you to adopt sustainable business practices. So please let us know what you think about the session today. Thank you very much.
Okay, and once you finish, you let me know, and then we can start opening the floor to questions that I already have. That Mira is already sending me some questions.
Okay, I think the polls have gone live now. Perhaps we can already have the Q&A session going, Juan.
Pardon? Can you repeat?
I think we can already have the Q&A session, and the women can keep sharing their feedback.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. So that's great. So, Matilda, Be ready.
Yes.
First question. I know you will manage it. How to get good packaging for our products?
In this era, as we find ourselves, having a sustainable package is everything, and making sure your packaging is environmentally friendly is everything as well. For us, I'll use ourselves as an example. We don't look at getting our packaging from out of the country. First of all, we take a look at the products. Every product has what could be used to package it and make it look so presentable. We are working with leftovers of fabric, and that is what we make beautiful sacks of, and then we use that as our packaging, because we still want to tell the story about the packaging to the buyer, that, oh, you can reuse this bag, you can keep things in it, or you can maintain your product in it as well. You can look at packaging from research. I believe in research. I think that if you Google packaging, it would give you a lot of options, but you must consider it being eco-friendly, less plastic, because now everybody frowns on what plastic has brought to the world. So you look at having a biodegradable packagation, that's one. You look at an eco-friendly packaging, that's two. You can also take a look at what you yourself can invent as a nice packaging exclusive to you and your products, for your product as well. That I hope that I answered it well. Yeah.
And I want to complement something that is not only, I mean, you are talking about the technicalities of the packaging, but you know, in Ghana, I'm from Colombia, sometimes in Kenya, sometimes in Bangladesh. We don't find the suppliers. And then for this issue, what I recommend always is create purchasing groups. I mean, probably for you as one buyer, it's too much to buy a container. But with groups of companies that sometimes can be your competitor. I mean, we know, no, these are my competitors. I'm not gonna do business with my competitors. But at the end, if we create purchasing groups, even through associations, through groups that help you, you can get the right packaging. You can import the right packaging at very good prices. And then, of course, you are not competing with other people that probably they have different products, different services, different approaches, different customers. But then you group your purchases, and then you solve your problem. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Just a note, some people are asking where they can find the poll. Remember that the poll, you can find it in the wall next to the video wall. There are polls. You need to click in polls, and then you will find the polls there. Okay, we have another question. How best can we impose our code of conduct with the suppliers?
First of all, you must have a relationship with your suppliers. Respect is the first thing. You must realize that without your suppliers, you cannot have an end product. Fair wages is the biggest thing. You must be sure that everybody is paid fairly. That's the first one to deal with. And you know that there is nothing like child labor in terms of your supply chain. You must get involved in your supply chain so you know the nitty-gritty of what is happening, where your product, where your raw materials are coming from, how they are gathered and put together and brought to you as a buyer. You must follow all those processes to be sure that first, it's ethical, it's sustainable, you know that you're not harming the environment, you know that there is no child labor, and there are fair wages. If you have all these factors going for you, it's easy for you to relate with your supplier, and then they can also even suggest new materials for you, which you have never even thought about. So respect is everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last point, because now we need to start closing. Unfortunately, time flies. Communicating your codes of conduct, and people will know who you are. Let's go to the next slide. In the meantime, I will start thanking Matilda. My God, again, we could stay here forever with you. It's a pleasure to see how you are moving on these areas, on the two pillars. Is inspiring people. You inspire already a lot of people in ITC. I hope after this webinar and panel, you inspire many, many other people. Just wanted to tell everybody, remember the next, now we will start the online course, and next month we'll have the webinar and best practices for increasing your online visibility, overcoming COVID-19 through digitalization, and the online course is e-commerce essentials for every business. Can we go to the next slide, Kriti, please? And then just thank you everybody to be here today with us. Time is never enough, but it was a pleasure. Thank you, Matilda, not only for being with us, but to do such a great work and inspiring so many people. Invite your networks to the SheTrades Global, to the Road to Global, to learn more, to be prepared for international markets, and see you the next time. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.